Hi there, we're back for session 3 of Virtual CurveFest Body Lovin 2013 edition. Hopefully you've checked out sessions 1 and 2 already. If not, and you decided to jump ahead to session 3, no problem. I'm just going to give a quick overview of where we've been and what's going to be happening during this session. So in session 1, which was back to the body, back to the breath, we really worked a process of connecting with our own breath and our own body. And the reason that we did this was twofold. So one, to prepare this process of thinking about what you want out of your new year. And two, to really be able to experiment with what it means to listen to your unique body, like what signals you get, what messages you receive. And of course, that's something that changes from time to time, but it's really nice to have the lab of your yoga mat to try it out, see what happens, so that if you are, for example, in the course of a stressful part of your day or something like that, you can say like, okay, I'm going to take a moment, check in, what is my body telling me right now? And this is useful in just a wide array of instances and things going on. In session 2, we had more of a talk about resolutions versus intentions and what that means. So I shared my perspective on what yoga has to say about intention and where we can kind of live our life from. And then I also shared some related philosophies like health at every size, and shared some pieces and quotes from people who I respect who I think do good work around that. And then I led us through a process of figuring out what you want and need in this new year, and also thinking about just allowing a word or some words to come forward as a potential intention for the year. So now that you have your word, or maybe you have a couple words that you're kind of playing with, we're really going to use that to create a touchstone to come back to throughout the year. So it can be so easy to forget your word. The word that I chose for 2013 is spacious. And that for me has some like breathing room, like on a, physical breathing level, but also on the level of my schedule and how I plan my day. And, already it's the beginning of January, we're a few days in, and it's easy to lose it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so that's why I'm going to share some different things that you could do to remember your intention in times that it may be easy to forget it, or to come back to it as quickly as you're able to when it's needed. So how I would like to start this session is with some freestyle movement. So one thing that I really think is important when we're talking about how to meet your own needs through yoga, how to find body acceptance through yoga, is really doing the movement that your body is asking for. And sometimes that's a prescribed sequence of yoga asanas, so it's very clear, like warrior 1, warrior 2, you're doing a lot of traditional yoga poses. But one of the things that I love about home yoga practice, which I assume we're all doing, at least in some way, together through this workshop, is that you don't have to do it that way, that you have some more freedom, and you can really listen to your body. So you may remember, if you participated in session 1, that we did some yoga together. So what I'd like to do for the next little bit is kind of revisit that. And then from there, I'm going to give some instruction for you to do what feels good to your body, to follow that feel good principle. So we'll go ahead and get that started. What you'll need for this is a yoga mat. If you have slippery flooring, wood floor, tile, linoleum. If not, and you have stable flooring, you may be okay without a yoga mat. If you have a chair available, like the one you can see behind me, the one without wheels, I recommend that you have that nearby if you know you may want or need it. And same thing for yoga props. So if you have blocks, a strap, a bolster, etc. around, you're welcome to use those. And if not, I think we can make do without it. So I'm going to head back to my mat and I will see you there. Okay, so you can come to the back of your mat and we're going to come into a comfortable standing position. So if it's not okay for you to stand, you're welcome to sit in your chair. You'll be able to participate fully from your chair. Whatever you choose, you're going to have your feet a comfortable distance apart and nice and planted on the ground. And I really give a lot of instruction about this in session 1, so I'm just going to kind of give the highlights here. So we're going to press down underneath the ball of the big toe, pinky toe, center of the heel. Maybe just a tiny bend in the knees as you elongate the spine, head reaching towards the ceiling. And then we're going to inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, arms down by the sides. We'll just do that 2 more times, following your own breath. After your 3rd exhale, arms can rest by the sides. This might be a time that you'd like to grab a couple blocks or maybe a chair seat. If you're staying seated, you will just stay in the same position you were just in. You probably won't need the blocks. Inhale, arms come overhead like before. Exhale, you're going to bend the knees a lot, fold forward. Head is releasing down. If you're in a chair, your arms are just dangling. If you find you have a lot of slack in the elbows, that's what tells you you may be able to draw the blocks down another notch. Same thing, a lot of bend. You can come down to the lowest or even to the floor. It's up to you. Then we press through the feet. Arms come overhead. And arms come down by the sides. We'll do that again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend the knees a lot. Fold forward. Once you get down here, the legs begin working towards straight. And they may or may not get there. It's fine. If your belly feels compressed, try stepping your feet wider to give the belly a little more space. Inhale, arms come up. And exhale, arms down. So what we're going to do now, which we did not do in the first session, is begin just making some free-form movement in the body. So if you have a wall nearby or something like the chair you can bring your hand to for support, we'll shift the weight into the leg closest to the support and begin circling the ankle one direction and the other direction. Then you can draw some circles with your leg. And again, we'll go both directions. As you make these movements through the joints, I encourage you to move to the hand now, circling the wrist. Really tune in with your body. You might even like to close your eyes once you have an idea of what we're doing. Circling the arm. And just stay with what feels good. Making these circular motions through the joints warms them up a little bit. And you may find as you go that this fluidity that you're creating through your body, that there's part of it that you want to stay with. So feel free not to match my pace. Just go with it. If there's part that you want to skip over, part that you want to stay on for 5 minutes, it's totally up to you. Whenever you're ready, you can switch sides. And again, this is a video, so if you're not ready right now, you can hit pause. That's totally within your purview. So what we're doing right now is just getting used to feeling this mobility, this ease, this looseness, bringing it into the joints. And then we're going to invite it into all of the body. As long as what you're doing feels good and is not causing pain, you can just go with it. Stay. There's no particular right or wrong way as long as you're not feeling pain. And pain is usually experienced as something sharp. Sometimes people have a question about what it means to feel pain in yoga, and that's usually what tells you you've gone beyond a stretch and into pain. When you're done with that, see what would feel good. I'm just going to kind of start making some different movements, and you're welcome to stay with me, but you're also welcome to do whatever you would like. I'm going to keep my movements pretty fluid. Some I'll hold on. Do a shoulder stretch here, kind of giving myself a little hug. And then I'm just going to move that around. And I may find a place where I feel I want to stay. You may too. And even though it's possible that you might feel a little bit silly, just kind of following around what feels good for your body, give yourself the opportunity to take a break from that skepticism, which sometimes looks like cynicism, and just let your body speak. Sometimes we think if we're not doing triangle pose, then we're not doing yoga. I think that the yoga poses are guides and tools into what we need in our body. And so it doesn't always have to look like a prescribed pose that we might see in a book. Another thing you might like to do, which we have done, is just move with your breath. Inhaling, making a movement. Exhaling, making a movement. Let's spend about another minute doing standing poses. And then we're going to go to seated. So anything your body's asking for in this moment, see if you can meet that request. And then as you're ready, we're going to come on down to seated. So if you have been seated in a chair making your movements, you can stay there. If you've been standing and it's okay for you, you can come to seated on the floor, or you might like to sit in a chair. You might like to sit on a blanket or something to lift your hips up. And then we're basically going to do the same thing that we just did standing, but we're going to do it seated. So we'll start again with a few breaths. We'll inhale, arms up overhead, touch the palms. Exhale, arms down in front of the chest. Inhale, arms up and out. Exhale, they come back. We'll do that a couple more times. Do one more like this. And then we'll again begin moving in whatever way our body's asking for. So I'm again just going to do what's feeling good for me right now. And I invite you to do the same, although you're of course welcome to follow along. This can be a little bit scary or weird, just to allow yourself to do what your body wants. How often do we allow ourselves to do that? Not too often. Most of us have some prescribed rules, either from books or family or friends or our partner or TV or magazines, wherever, about what we should be doing, how long it should take, what it should look like, what it should include. So deciding to let your body be the guide is a really kind of transformative and radical thing to do. And not every single yoga practice you do will be like this necessarily, but the more that we can practice bodily permission in these little moments where you give yourself something like what we're doing now, maybe 15-ish minutes of just moving from what feels good, the more that informs and infuses your yoga practice on and off the mat. Because we start to see that it's okay, that no yoga police came, we didn't die, nothing terrible happened when we met our own need. And hopefully we'll find that we actually feel pretty good, pretty restored after we do something like this. This is reinforcing your trust that you can listen to your body, accept exactly what it's asking for, and share it. And stay about 1 more minute here with our seated poses. Doing whatever final things your body wants, needs, desires. And as you're ready, you can slow your movement down. And we'll meet back in the center. So what we're going to do now is a extended Shavasana or relaxation. And there's a couple different options. So one is you can lay down on the ground with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, or legs extended. And I gave some in-depth instructions around how to make that comfy for curvy bodies in session 1. Another option you might like to play with is legs up the wall. So you may have done this before, but if you haven't, I'm going to show you 2 options for doing it. So the first one involves a chair. And if you decide you want to do this, what you'll do is bring a chair preferably up against a wall so that you have some stability. You're going to sit with your hip you're like on the chair. Your hip is so close to it. Once you get there, you can scoot your butt and hips even closer. Top hand can be on the chair seat for a little support if you'd like. Bottom arm walks out. So you're sort of laying on your side here. Then you swing your body around so you can rest your legs on the chair seat. Is that graceful? Not really. But does it feel good once you get in? Yeah. So you can rest here. Legs can kind of flop open if they want to, whatever feels good. And you can stay right here. The other option for legs up the wall is literally legs up the wall. So you would not have a chair for this one. And you're going to pretty much do the same thing. So you sit with your hip on the wall. I'm talking like as close as you can get, the better. Because the closer you are, the easier it is once you come in. So I'm going to get even closer. Boom, my butt's right on the wall. I'm going to lay down. And again, somewhat gracefully, swing my legs up the wall. So once you get here, if you find this is too much of a stretch for your hamstrings, you can press your feet into the wall and scoot back a little bit. But it's a lot easier to scoot back than it is to scoot in. So that's why we start really, really close. Well, once you get here, you can also allow the legs to turn out a little bit. Arms can rest by the sides or hands can rest on the belly, or in another position you'd find comfortable. And from here, we're going to invite ourselves to drop in to our own breath and body. So you're going to stay right where you are. I'm going to come up to my desk so you can hear me a little better. So hopefully you're snug in your position. Let's start with 3 deep breaths. You might like to exhale with a sigh. You may recall in session 1 that we connected with a grounding image. So some examples that I offered were a mountain, a rock, a tree with thick roots. And what I'd like you to connect with now is an image of light. So this may be the sun, a beloved lamp, a crystal, anything that is a source of light, reflects light. Just give yourself a moment to see that image in your mind's eye. And then we're going to move this image through the body as you rest here. So we'll begin with the feet, just taking a moment to notice how your feet are feeling and to make any small adjustments that you'd like. Once the feet have stilled, bring the image, the feel of light into your feet. And all you have to do is intend for it to happen, and it will. There's nothing you have to really force or do. And we'll move to the legs, noting how they're feeling, making any adjustments you need, and then inviting that light into your legs. From here, we'll move to the hips, belly, and abdomen, noting how they're feeling, shifting as you need to, and then bringing light into your hips, belly, and abdomen. From there, we'll move into the hands, the arms, the shoulders. Again, noticing how they're feeling. And then inviting the light image into your hands, arms, and shoulders. From there, we'll move to the center of the chest and the throat. Noticing how they're feeling. And then inviting light into your heart, into your throat. Finally, we'll move to the head, the jaw, the eyes, the forehead. Noticing how they're feeling. Seeing if you can invite them to soften any amount. And then inviting light into your jaw, into the sockets of your eyes, your forehead. And then taking a moment and expanding your awareness through your whole body and allowing that light to become one with your whole body. From here, we're going to drop in for close to 10 minutes of relaxation, connection with your body and breath here. So I will hold the space for 10 minutes. You don't have to worry about this turning off or anything like that. I'm going to sit with you as you rest. And you can allow yourself to drop into the rhythm of your breath. If you'd like, you might try some of the counted breath techniques that we used in previous sessions. Or just let yourself ride that wave of the natural rhythm of your breath. Let's take 5 more deep breaths here. Going at your own pace. After your 5th exhale, take a moment to draw your light source image back in to your whole body. Letting it fill you from the inside out. From here, take a moment to notice what would feel really good for your body. And then begin making small, kind movements, maybe beginning with wiggling fingers and toes. And just doing anything else that would feel good. And then if you were in the legs up the wall position, how you come out is how you came in. So you'll slowly roll to the side, legs coming off the chair or off the wall, pausing on your side for a few breaths. And then as you're ready, and only as you're ready, you slowly come on back up to seated. We're going to use our final time here for a closing ceremony to really bring us back to our intention and give us a foundation for moving forward. So I would like you to make this as cozy and respectful of you and your experience and your intention as possible. So you might like to just pause the video for a moment and light a candle or some incense, or put on a scarf you love, just something to mark that you've entered into sacred space and time. This is also something nice that you can do for yourself anytime that you're wanting to reconnect with your intention. So you may find that when you light that candle, it brings you back to your intention, a touchstone for you. So once you've got that set up and you feel like you're in a sacred space, find your way into a comfortable seated position, either on a chair, couch, bed, etc., or on the ground. Somewhere where you feel supported and cozy and relaxed. And warm. You might need to put on socks or a sweater if where you are is cool. And vice versa if where you are right now is already warm and you need to cool down. Once you've done that, I invite you to see yourself in a circle with other body loving yogis from around the world. And you can just visualize this. It might be faces of people who you know and love. It might just be people who you've seen online, or it might just be kind of a faceless group of people who are really, you can feel their connection and love to body acceptance and yoga. And just give yourself a moment to look around this circle and feel what you feel coming from the people in the circle. All of whom have been participating in this workshop with you, even though maybe not at the same time as you. Once you've done that, you can draw your attention back inside your own body. You might even like to close your eyes if they're not already. And call your intention, the word that you've chosen, into your mind. And then take 5 slow, deep breaths with this intention on your mind. You might even like to inhale your intention and exhale your intention. So for me, for example, I'd inhale spacious, exhale spacious. This is something that you could do at any time throughout the year. Breathe with your intention. After your fifth exhale, about a foot in front of your eyes, see a movie projection screen. You can keep your eyes closed or they can be open, whatever feels more comfortable. So this screen is the kind of thing that might be pulled down from above a whiteboard in a school classroom or an old school drive-in movie screen, just whatever a screen is to you, let yourself see that. And let the screen just be blank for now. Once you've got that, call your intention back into your mind and ask a symbol for it to appear on your screen. And whatever appears, let that be okay. It might not be what you're expecting, but just let something come forward from your body, from your intuition. Now see yourself on the screen. This might be an actual representation of you, it might look like you, or it might be an image that's representing you. Whatever comes forward again is perfect, exactly what we want. Now, if they're not already, bring the image of your intention and yourself together on your screen. And just notice what happens when you bring yourself in contact and connection with your intention. If you're not sure, that's okay. Still working with the image on your screen, ask your image or intention any questions that you have and see what comes up. And if it's nothing, that's okay. Still seeing yourself with the image on the screen, noting anything else that comes up. When you're ready, thank the image for appearing, and take both yourself and the image of your intention off of the screen, so the screen is blank again. You might just bring your open hand to your mouth and blow the screen away, dissolving it. Kind of like you were blowing a eyelash off your hand. And come back into this moment and inhale. Reach your arms out in front of you, connecting with the quality of your intention and image. So you may just, with your eyes closed, see the image that was just on your screen. And you're going to exhale and bring your hands to your heart. Let's do this 3 more times. Inhaling, connecting with your image. Exhaling, bringing its qualities in. After your 3rd exhale, you can rest with hands on the heart. And let's do 5 full breaths here. Sitting with the qualities of your intention in your heart, in your body, in your breath. So that any time in the future you bring your hands back to this position, you can quickly and easily connect with the image and qualities of your intention for the year. After your 5th exhale, you can bring your hands into Anjali Mudra, or palms pressing together in front of the chest in prayer position. You can gently tuck your chin towards your chest and thank yourself for going through this process of connecting, creating, letting your body speak, so that you can move from a place of body acceptance through the breath, through yoga, through your everyday life for the rest of the year. I thank you too for being here and going through the process with me. I wanted to just for a moment give a quick reminder of some of the things that we've done during these 3 sessions that you might like to use again in the future as ways to connect with your body, your breath, and your intention. So those were moving on the breath, your full inhale and full exhale. We also did a mantra breath where you connected with 2 words that described how you feel in this moment. Breathing in 1, openness, breathing in or exhaling, relaxation, allowing those words to change as they're needed. We also did a counted breath, and we did a few different ones. We did one where we inhaled to 1, exhaled to 2. And we did a different counted breath where we counted our inhale 2, 3, 4, and then we either exhaled to the same 2, 3, 4, or we exhaled 1 extra count. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you do that one, the numbers you come up with do not matter at all. You just want to count however long your inhale is, and then either match it or go 1 or more beats longer. And really the ground of that is ease. So, of course, as it is for everything that we've talked about, but we don't want strain in the breath. A couple other things that we did were freestyle movement. So checking in with your body and moving in a way that it's asking for. We also did restorative yoga. And if this is something that you do on your own later, one thing I like to do is set a timer. So if I'm going to do a shavasana for 10 minutes, I'll just set a gentle timer, nothing blaring, but just something to let me know the time's come to an end, so I don't spend the whole time thinking, has it been 10 minutes? Has it been 10 minutes? The other thing that we did is connect with different images that we find supportive. So we connected with a grounding image, we connected with a light image, and we connected with an image of your intention. And so any of these things I just mentioned are things you might like to use again as different touchstones throughout the year. As we part ways for this session, for this workshop, my hope for you is that you can call any of these back anytime that you need them. And there are some things that you might like to do. You might like to write down, print out, illustrate, make a post-it, anything with your word if you are someone visual who would like to see it as a regular reminder. I sometimes find that helpful. I also will keep a little log, like I have a Word document where throughout the year if I find a quote or a poem or an article or just anything that reminds me of my word and my intention, I'll just quickly paste it into that Word document. And at the end of the year I have a nice file of reminders of things that had spoken to me throughout the year related to that particular intention. So If any of those sound like things you might like to do, you're welcome to give them a try. So thank you again for being with me for Virtual CurveFest Body Lovin 2013 edition. I hope to see you around Curvy Yoga soon. You can always check out more at curvyyoga.com. Namaste.